Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss about the cloud computing. What is meant by cloud computing? What are the services it provide, and what are the deployment models it has there? And these are all we'll learn in this session. A complete fundamentals we'll learn in this session. In further going sessions, we'll be going into the deeper into like AWS service. We'll discuss in the later classes. Today we are going to discuss what is cloud computing. Here, the cloud computing is a technology that provides computing services such as servers, storage, database, networking, and software over the internet instead of using a local computers or physical servers in your system or in your organization. This is nothing but you are not using any servers or databases in a physical way in your organization. Instead of that, you are accessing from over the internet through somewhere else. It allows us to access the resources. It will access as you use. For that one you want to pay how much you have used the software or a service, that much you want to pay to the account. Like it was telling that it allows users to access the resources on demand and pay only for what they use. That's it. What you have used for that you want to pay. And why the cloud computing is needed? Why? Before the cloud computing, the companies want to buy the hardwares like physical servers and the things stuff and all you want to buy and maintain that one hardware. For maintaining that hardware, you want the cooling systems, and the cost is very high. The scaling is very difficult. The maintaining cost was very high, and the maintenance also very difficult to maintain. For solving these all of the problems, the cloud computing came into existence. The cloud computing offers a scalable and cost-effective solutions. The cloud computing uses to scaling in this before we have the hardware. For that one, the scaling is so difficult. The cloud computing will provide the more scaling and cost-effective solutions. And how the cloud computing works? How the cloud computing works? When the user access the website or application, you want to request to the internet. The request will move towards the data center, and the virtual the servers which are there in the data centers, they process the request. The result for that request has been sent back to the user. This is the 4-step process. You will go to the internet and ask the service, and it will move to the cloud data center, and virtual servers process the request, and the request has been sent back. These cloud providers manage large data centers with thousands of servers. The servers has been maintained in the data centers. I will show you the image of the data center, how the servers has been placed. Here I will show you the brief introduction about the data center, how it will be, what is the lecture, and all these things.
What is a data center? A data center houses rows of computers and equipment for storing, processing, and transmitting data. They typically have few windows and extra security, including cameras and sometimes biometric screening. The computers need a lot of electricity to operate and to keep the equipment from overheating. That also requires more electricity and huge amounts of water for elaborate air conditioning. The International Energy Agency says one large data center uses the same amount of electricity as it takes to power 400,000 electric cars. Tech companies are increasingly using their data centers to train and operate artificial intelligence systems. Training an AI model to learn from huge amounts of data requires additional computing power. Conventional data center services run on processors known as CPUs. AI relies on graphics processing units, or GPUs. The IEA estimates that asking OpenAI's ChatGPT to compose an answer requires nearly 10 times as much electricity as a traditional Google search. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google have all announced plans to tap into nuclear energy to help power their US data centers. They've also helped finance new wind and solar farms and other alternative energy sources. In the near term, however, most data centers are still heavily reliant on the surrounding electricity grid, which is largely powered by burning fossil fuels, the primary cause of global warming. This is making it harder for some countries and tech companies to keep their promises to address climate change. What is a data center?
This is all about the data centers. How the data centers are managed. For that, managing the data centers, we need more electricity and more cooling systems want to be maintained. And these are all the consequences. We going to deeper, we will know much better into the topic. Now we know about the core concepts of components of cloud. What are the core components of cloud? Here we are going to use the cloud computing. For these, the all are the components are inbuilt in this computing. We have the compute, storage, and networking, database, security, many other services. In the computing, we have the containers, virtual machines. The processing power is maintained in the computing, and the storing of the data, files, or a block, and object. These are all stored in the data storage. It is one of the component. And networking, communication between the resources. The networking is the communicating from the one network resource to the another network resource. And here the another component is databases. The databases are managed and based on the servers and what the request has been user is giving. And these are all the. And the last one is security. It will use the cloud computing use the security, high-end security, to identify the access management, while encryption also will happen. And these are all the core components of cloud computing. And go much deeper into the cloud computing, we'll be knowing about the types of cloud computing. What are the models? What are all the models? It will give IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. What are these? We'll know in detail. What is meant by IaaS? Infrastructure as a service. It will provide the machines and the storage, and user want to manage its operating system and applications. It's nothing but it will provide the virtual machine and the storage. In the service which provides VMs and the storage, the user want to manages operating system and applications. Here you will know AWS means you'll be getting linked with we'll connect dots with that AWS EC2 instance. There we will be having the virtual machine, the storage. Though you want to use the operating system applications which are in the AWS, like creating the instance and storing the storage which you have. And PaaS, platform as a service. It provides the platform to develop and deploy the applications. User only manages the code. Nothing it will manage. Only manages the code. It will provide the platform, develop and deploy all the applications it provided. User only manages the cloud. Google App Engine. And PaaS will provide the VM and the storage, and you want to manage the applications and the operating system, the data we want to manage. It provides the platform to develop and deploy the applications. User only manages the code. And here example is Google App Engine. And SaaS is a software as a service. Everything it will provide, only you want to be an user for that. SaaS provides a ready to use software over the internet. You want to be the user for that. What are the examples? WhatsApp, Gmail, Zoom, and these are all the SaaS products. And we will be knowing about deployment models. What are the deployment models? Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. We'll be knowing in detail about this. Now, here we have three models, cloud deployment models. What are they? Public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. In the public cloud, it will available to every person, like general public. The shared infrastructure is maintained, and it will also be cost-effective one. And next one is private cloud. What is private cloud? It is only dedicated or specified to a single organization for a single use. High security and control. It should not be. It won't be leaked. The leaking of data is to be maintained on other. The hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private cloud. Uses for sensitive workloads. For the sensitive workloads, it has been used as a hybrid cloud. What are the characteristics of cloud computing it will provide? It will provide the 5 essential characteristics for the users which they are using. On-demand self-service. Users can provision resources automatically. On-demand self-service means the users will provision the resources automatically with their use. And next one is broad network access. The services which all are there should be, and they are accessed by the internet, not by the other. And resource pooling. The resource pooling is the multiple users share same infrastructure. The one user is in the EC2 instance, in another user also is in the EC2 instance. This is resource pooling. The multiple users can share the same infrastructure. Fourth one is rapid elasticity. Rapid elasticity means the resources can scale automatically. Elasticity, the resources can scale automatically. And measured service is what you have used the service for that one you want to pay. This is called as pay as you go model. Users pay based on their usage. What are the advantages of the cloud computing? Some of the advantages are cost reduction, cost reduces, highly scalable and globally accessible, automatic updates, update, disaster recovery, improves the collaboration, high reliability. And disadvantages are internet dependency. Internet is must be, and security risks of misconfigured. Security risks will be misconfigured, vendors lock-in, and possible downtime, data privacy concerns. These are all the disadvantages. The cloud provider who is responsible for physical data centers, hardware infrastructure, and networking equipment. And the user, what the user will be responsible for the data security, application security, user access control, and for configuring the settings. And where it has been used. What are the major cloud providers? These are three trending cloud providers in the market. That one is AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure is owned by the Microsoft, and local cloud platform is owned by the Google. These are all three service providers which are in the market. Most commonly you use the Amazon Web Service, AWS. What are all the real world applications of cloud computing? Website hosting, mobile applications, artificial intelligence, IoT, online gaming, banking systems, video streaming platforms, and healthcare. And what is the future scope of cloud computing? Future scope is AI integration, edge computing, and serverless architectures, multi-cloud cloud environments, quantum computing research. These are the highly demand IT industry skills. And now we will be ending the session with this conclusion. Cloud computing is transforming the IT industry by providing the scalable, flexible, and cost-efficient computing solutions over the internet. It enables all the organizations to focus on innovation instead of infrastructure management. And beside of the infrastructure, the innovation has been managed. All the organization was shifting to this towards the cloud computing because of maintainability and cost efficiency. For these purposes, they are shifting to the cloud computing. The future upcoming days, this field will be emerging so widely. So you want to concentrate little towards the cloud computing. You will get the interest, and you will move further into the later future preparations.